Good morning. Good morning from sunny Los Angeles. It's kind of chilly, but it's sunny. It is trading with Sergio every Monday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. Welcome to Trading with Sergio. Welcome to Bloody Bitcoin Monday. Not really, actually. Bitcoin probably hasn't done much over the last, I don't know, few weeks, right? It's just in a higher trading range now, between 107 and 91.5 today. But there's a lot to talk about as usual. It's going to be a shortened trading week like last week because New Year's Day markets are closed. So before I start anything, thank you for the support. I really appreciate it. The channel is about 5 months old. I think I just broke 1,600 subscribers. Great. Growing slowly. So help me grow it, please. Share it with your friends, share the videos, shorts, long content, whatever it is. And more importantly, the live streams. So I do 2 live streams a week, trading with Sergio on Mondays, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. And Power Hour, the recap of the week on Fridays and different topics to talk about. That's also 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. That's weekly. One other way you can support the channel is becoming a member. If you do choose to become a member, and I think I have 21 or 22 so far, which is great. Thank you for the support. It is well worth it. I think the cost shouldn't even be considered for what you're getting in return. And I do weekly members-only lives. This week, it's going to be on Thursday instead of Wednesday, but usually it's on Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. And this week, it's going to be Thursday, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. So thank you for the support to all the channel members. Channel members get not only a special live stream for themselves as a perk on 4 times a week. What's that shit? 4 times a month. But they also will get the T-shirt that I'm wearing. Hashtag know your worth for free, including shipping. It's a $30 item on the Gig With It website. So as a thank you or token of appreciation, I'm sending all the members, new ones coming up as well, a black T-shirt with the hashtag know your worth, since we have to know our worth in life, in anything, including trading. And just email me, sergio@sergioavedian.com, your T-shirt size and your physical address, and I will ship one out to you ASAP. So, and one last thing, I will repeat that at the end, obviously. So if you have any questions, comments, whatever, please put them in the chat. I'll hit them up at the end. But today probably I'll stay on for about, I don't know, hopefully for an hour or so. It's a shortened week, trading week. As I said, there is some economic data coming out, but Santa Claus Rally, as the title of the live stream indicated, seems like it's gone backwards. People are so used to all these, past events like Santa Claus Rally. Yeah, it's usually a positive because there is money flowing in at the end of the year, and the first week or so of the new year should be okay because there's new money coming in into the indexes, but it doesn't seem like it. So, the sell-off from Friday is continuing. Nothing is broken yet. I'll go through my watch list and my charts, obviously, at the end as well, and my positions. But there is a lot happening internally. Internally, the market has been weak. If you look at the advanced decline lines on the New York Stock Exchange as well as NASDAQ, it's been weak. So basically, 10 stocks are holding everything up, and we know which 10 those are. Seven more are in the Mag 7. The rest of the market actually underneath the market, the stocks are not doing well. Out of S&P 500 stocks, about 10 are keeping the market up, and 10 are up to 40% now of the market capitalization of S&P 500. So when the generals are leading the rally, what happens is one general gets shot, right? Soldiers need to lead the rally. The small caps are not participating in this yet. Although the Federal Reserve is lowering the interest rates, they should, but they're not. And internals in the marketplace have not been looking good for the past couple of weeks. I had puts. I sold them on Friday. I probably should have kept them, but you got to take profits when they're given to you. And I will get back into puts. I mean, not imminently, but probably. I don't know, probably after the first week after inauguration. But there is a lot going on also in the crypto markets, right? Bitcoin's correction is continuing. I call it a correction. A lot of FUD media is putting it out. Oh, Bitcoin is crashing. I'm like, well, first of all, I said this 1,000,000 times, and I'm going to say it again. Bitcoin is not to be traded. Not for me. So for you, it may be, there are a lot of people who trade Bitcoin through the derivatives as well, right? There's futures on Bitcoin. Institutions it's liquid enough for institutions to get in and out and short the market as well. Yeah, Bitcoin had a massive run this year. Okay, cool. I believe, okay, this is my belief, not financial advice, not trading advice. Bitcoin in 5 years, 100,000 is going to look like $100. However, there is a lot that needs to happen for that to occur, right? All the YOLOs and as well as FUDs, I try to ignore. I set up a plan and I do that. The plan for me, New Year's, is going to be, I haven't bought Bitcoin for close to 6 years now, okay? And but now what I'm going to do is actually started doing it early. I'm going to put in $100, not much, $100 a week, every single week on a Monday. I'm going to dollar cost average into Bitcoin. So I already did 3 pieces. I bought it at 97, 95, and 93 and a half. This morning I had an order at 91 and a half. I missed it. It's okay. I do it through Coinbase, by the way. So, and if you guys are interested, I have a referral link. I'm not affiliated with Coinbase, but if you're going to trade crypto, please use my referral link to open an account. And you'll get some Bitcoin free. I'll get some Bitcoin free, as well as Robinhood. I have a referral link in the show notes. If you want to open an account, feel free to use my code. We both get some free shares. Something, nothing major, but it's something. So Bitcoin is in this higher end trading range. As you all know, if you've been watching me long enough, Bitcoin was in a trading range between 52 and 54 and 72, let's say, right? For what? 7 months, 6, 7 months. And then it broke out, right? It broke out probably with the help of MicroStrategy, because MicroStrategy is all in. I have a great video coming out in a couple hours, actually, at noon. And the last video that I put out about MicroStrategy with the headline, MicroStrategy down 40%, game over or game on. Well, that got amazing reception. I think it got viewed 1,400 times. I know, I'm used to much bigger numbers from the other channel, but for having 1,600 subscribers and video being watched 1,300 times, and by new subscribers, it added like 25, 30 subscribers to the channel, which is great. That means YouTube is pushing the video out to the masses, and whoever's interested is watching it and subscribing, which is great. But today, the second part of that, I wouldn't call it a sequel or a second part, but it's coming out, and it talks about MicroStrategy going all in. There's a valid question here, okay? I did a video about that popular one as well. Is MicroStrategy a Ponzi scheme, right? I don't think so. I don't believe so. I don't believe it to be a Ponzi scheme. Ponzi scheme's definition is quite different than what Michael Saylor is doing. However, you have to be careful. I mean, look, there is a risk in every trade. There is a risk in every asset. Whoever says, hodl, 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 it'll going to be higher. Yeah, I do believe that, but it's not a hodl situation. But that's when I concluded a few months ago, actually, that Bitcoin should not be traded, Bitcoin itself, right? Now, the derivatives of Bitcoin, which we know, or the proxies or the surrogates of Bitcoin, could be traded. And I have been trading them successfully until probably today. As you guys will see in the positions, I've been selling puts on the 2x ETF, MSTU, I did it successfully for about a month or so on MSTX with no harm. Now MSTU going down, obviously 2x as much as MSTR is, and MSTR is, you know, is as low as I've seen it over the last couple of months. You know, I explained that on a video as well. There is something called mNAV, Mary, Nancy, Apple, Victor, Amazon multiplier, NAV as net asset value. Okay, so I've explained this before, but I'm going to explain it one more time. Short. What's mNAV? Net asset value. What is the net asset value of MicroStrategy? So MicroStrategy and Michael Saylor have chosen to accumulate Bitcoin by stock sales as well as convertible notes. Okay. There's videos on the channel. You can go check it out, what convertible notes are, how they're treated, you know, how much dilution that creates. So Michael Saylor, as of the last earnings report, said he has a 21-21 plan. 21-21 plan is $21 billion in at-the-market share offerings, which is dilutive. Don't anybody kid yourself. And 21 billion in convertible notes. Okay. So far, he's done about 6 billion in convertible notes. I guess he's keeping his powder dry, but he keeps doing ATMs, at the market stock sales, and buying Bitcoin immediately. So he bought more this weekend. But although the purchase was the smallest, so a lot of the media made a big deal out of it. Oh, his purchases are becoming smaller. One other extremely fair question, is answering this question. Michael Saylor is buying. All these smaller companies are buying, such as Marathon, such as other companies, couple of companies in Europe, few companies in Japan. Why is Bitcoin not going up? All this buying. Who's selling? Well, long-term holders are selling. There is also derivatives of Bitcoin, shorts, right? Institutions can short Bitcoin through futures. They may be doing some hedging. I mean, you know, look, you know, it's a fair question. But then I think expectations are too high. You know, people were going like, oh, it blew through 100,000. Now it's going to go to 150,000 in another week. It's not going to happen that way. You know, Bitcoin did have peaks and valleys, and the peaks and valleys are pretty deep. Okay. And now that's why I'm not going to trade Bitcoin. I'm going to keep buying, and I'm going to start buying $100 a week, DCAing, and adding it to my position. Now, it has become 12% of my net worth. It started as 3%, 3.5%. Why? Because the price, right? Why am I adding here? And I'm not, you know, doing it because Michael Saylor is doing it, because I have come to the conclusion that over long periods of time, with a finite asset, that's the way it should be treated. And then I've done videos about, is it a finite asset? Is BlackRock hijacking Bitcoin and all that stuff, right? I mean, I'm trying to read the tea leaves for you and explaining it to you as well as I can, and it's my belief. It's not advice. It's not trading advice, or it's not any type of financial advice. You know, put my head down and read as much as I can about it. I understand Bitcoin, how the mechanical parts work. Not as well as some people, but I'm quite proficient with the mechanics of it. And I do believe there's a finite amount of Bitcoin out there. And what happens to finite assets when it gets to strong hands? You know, you just buy and hold. You know, it goes down. Yeah, okay. It goes down 10%, and then, which it did, right? 107,000 to 92,000 is what? 12%? And the world is coming to an end. Like, no. That's a regular correction, I think. You know, if it could get deeper, yeah, could it get to 20-25%? Could it go down to 85,000? Sure. Okay, cool. But what is happening is that my position on the 2x ETF is getting hurt today. Okay, because what's getting hurt? MicroStrategy is getting hurt. Now, mNAV, back to that 4-letter word. mNAV again stands for multiple of net asset value. Today's mNAV is as low as I've seen it over the last few months. Okay, we're down to 170, 175, and I said this on a video or live stream multiple times. When mNAV gets down to 150 to 170, 175, I'm going to buy the ETFs of MicroStrategy. Okay. Well, we are there, 170, 175, and I have the plan, and I'm going to execute it, and I have been executing it. So, first of all, another fair question. Like fair questions, number one, why is Bitcoin not going up? Well, it's gone up already. I mean, we're at almost, we're at 93,000, I think, right? After the correction this morning. Okay. What should the expectation be? Skyrocket to $1 million in 3 weeks? No, it's not going to happen that way. One. Two, who's selling when all this buying is happening? Well, market's always a two-sided, two-sided place. Or every time somebody's buying, there's somebody diametrically opposed opinion on the other side selling. Could it be people? Could it be miners? Sure. Could it be long-term holders of Bitcoin who have bought it at 10 cents? Potentially. Could it be, futures hedgers? Potentially. Many things can be happening, right? Market price is the market price. That's the scoreboard. That doesn't lie. You can guess all what you want. You can do all the YOLO and HODL and FUD and all that stuff, all these good 3-4 letter words, acronyms. Doesn't mean anything. Market is telling you what the price is at that second. There's a transaction happening at that second, and that is the correct price. The anticipation or the expectation of going to 100 million, 2 million, whatever. Michael Saylor is selling his book like every other person that shows up on CNBC, okay? He has a belief. I'm not fully bought into his belief of him, like the video coming out today. He's all in. I mean, he's looking to increase the share count on MicroStrategy to 10 billion shares. You guys will see the video. It'll come out at 12 p.m. Pacific. It says, MicroStrategy all in or massive dilution. I mean, you guys got to understand these things. MicroStrategy, how do I, well, at the moment, MicroStrategy, with all the ATMs they have done at the market stock sales, we're up to 245 million shares. I have my good old trusty cell phone here. So let's talk about mNAV. Okay, let's step back for a second. So 245 million shares. Last time I checked, MicroStrategy was $310 a share. Times 310 is $76 billion. Okay, out of that 76 billion, what is MicroStrategy's treasury asset? Bitcoin. Okay, they're up to 400. Well, let's say 450,000. They bought a couple thousand more. I think they were 449. Let's just round it off at 450,000 times. Let's go 93,000. So that's 42 billion, right? Okay. So, and what was the company's market capitalization, right? 245 million shares times 310, 76 billion. Okay. So 76 billion divided by 42 billion is 1.8. We're right there. And this morning at 300, it was I think low was 303. Where are we? We're about 175. That's mNAV. Now, another valid question. See, today is a day of valid questions, which I'm going to try to answer. And if you do have questions about this, please ask them in the chat, and I will try my best to answer it at the end. Why should MicroStrategy, sell at a premium to their Bitcoin holdings? These are all valid questions. There's a lot of opinions on the internet, right? Why? They hold $42 billion worth of Bitcoin. Okay. You're going to say, Sergio, there is an existing company. They are selling software. They're making money. No, they're not. It's some legacy software. It's been on its, last legs. Okay, let's put a value on that part of the company. Because as far as I can tell, other than 42 billion in Bitcoin, MicroStrategy's business is not like Microsoft or Google or Meta or Apple. Not a profitable business. All right. See, I'm just being super honest and completely transparent. If you guys disagree, please put it in the chat. And if you're going to watch this later, please comment. Okay, why should MicroStrategy sell 1.75 times its Bitcoin holding. All right, let's value the rest of the company. So at Bitcoin 93,000, their Bitcoin holdings are 42 billion. Company is at 72 billion. That's 30 billion, right? Okay. Is the MicroStrategy's business in itself, forget the Bitcoin, take the Bitcoin out, is it worth 30 billion? Absolutely not. Being super duper generous, okay? Before these Bitcoin, purchases started, what was MicroStrategy's worth? Because the legacy software business is actually losing money, okay? They're burning cash. Okay, what was it, 5 billion? Let's give it a value of 5 billion. Let's be super generous, give it a value of 8 billion. I know I'm throwing billions around, but that's where the world we live in now. So 42 billion in Bitcoin holdings plus 8 billion, we're at 50 billion. Their Bitcoin holdings are 70, the market cap at the moment at $310 a share is 72 billion. Okay, 72 divided by 50 is like 1.5. Still there's a premium. You can go buy Bitcoin today at 93,000 and put it in your cold wallet. Or you can buy the ETFs, IBITs, the BlackRock, the biggest one. Or if you want to gamble, you can buy the 2X BITX. You're not paying that premium. Why should anybody buy MicroStrategy? Valid question. Well, why you should buy MicroStrategy is that it has created volatility and you can take advantage of it through derivatives. And a lot of institutions who cannot participate in Bitcoin, MicroStrategy is a conduit for these institutions. We're talking trillions of dollars. Convertible bond market. There are convertible bond funds who cannot directly participate in Bitcoin. But Michael Saylor, by doing these convertibles, he became like a liaison between these institutions and Bitcoin market, right? He creates a convertible note, puts it out. Last one was 3 billion at zero interest rate. People are lending Michael Saylor, MicroStrategy, at zero interest rates for 6 years. Well, in 6 years, I'm thinking Bitcoin is going to be higher. So do those institutions. Those institutions are not dumb, okay? They have brilliant people working there. When I say institutions, they run bond funds. Okay. So that creates the premium, all right? Then Michael Saylor is doing at-the-market stock sales. Okay. Well, he sold. Literally, he sold out of the 21 billion. I think he's down to 6 billion left. He was supposed to do this in 3 years. He's done it in less than 3 months. He sold $15 billion in stock. That's putting pressure on the stock, obviously. And there are buyers on MicroStrategy. The reason people are buying MicroStrategy is because they're looking at it as a surrogate or a proxy to Bitcoin. And that's where the premium came in. Now, the premium, if you all notice, premium was up to 3.5. And I did a great video called "There is no free lunch on Wall Street." You guys can go check it out. It's on the channel. 3.5 was ridiculously high. That's when MicroStrategy was at 540. If you actually look at MicroStrategy stock price, sir, the ETF's different story, but let's take MicroStrategy. Bitcoin, when Bitcoin was 98,000 that day, I remember it like today because I was selling premium, I was selling calls. Stock at $540 a share. 540. This morning, it almost hit 300. 540 to 300 is $240. That's 45%. MicroStrategy has lost 45% of its value in a month or a couple of months, less than that, right? While Bitcoin is basically the same price. It was 98, now it's 94. So Bitcoin is down less than 3%, 4%, okay? Or let's make it 5% at 93,000. MicroStrategy is down 45%. So what did Wall Street do? Wall Street figured out the game. I go, well, the mNAV, it can't be 3.5. Way too high. Should there be any premium at all? Are we going to parity? Well, let me give you the parity numbers. All right. Parity plus 5 billion for the company or 8 billion for the company. Okay. Let's do it. So MicroStrategy today, let's say it's 310. All right, cool. at 310 times 245 million shares, we're at $72 billion market cap. All right. Let's assume Bitcoin stays here. And how do we go to parity? How do we take mNAV to 1 to 1, right? All right, so let's take their Bitcoin holdings at 42 billion plus 8, 50 billion. Well, company's worth 72 billion. There's 22 billion premium. That 22 billion, in order for the mNAV to go to 1 has to go to 50 billion. All right, well, where is 50 billion and where is MicroStrategy stock? Well, pretty simple number, $200. So that's going down another 33% from here. And what will the 2x ETFs do? They'll go to like 3 from 8.5 or 9, whatever they are. So the game that I'm playing with the 2x ETFs is not a risk-free game. It's a pretty dangerous game. If Wall Street decides that MicroStrategy should not be selling at a premium whatsoever and take MicroStrategy stock to parity, MicroStrategy is $200. Why? $200 times 245 million shares is 50 billion. Well, 42 billion in Bitcoin holdings plus another 8 billion is 50 billion. There you go. We're parity. So there is risk here, right? When people say, "Oh, I'm just going to buy and hold," I'm like, "Okay, cool, fine, whatever." But there is definitely risk here, and that's without Bitcoin moving, by the way, down. Bitcoin is staying flat. That's the assumption we're making here, right? So, but I believe MicroStrategy, with what they're doing, should be valued at some sort of premium. 3.5, absolutely not. 3, absolutely not. 2.5, no. 2, pushing it. And I have the videos. Go check it out. I said at 1.5 to 1.75, I will start buying either or trading, not buying and holding forever, trading MicroStrategy or its ETFs. Okay, so we are there. We're at 175. So I sold a little bit more puts today. I sold more 9.5 puts on MSTU. I already got assigned 4,500 shares. I'll get up to 5,000 shares with an average cost of about, with the premiums that I've taken in. One bad thing about Thinkorswim, on Thinkorswim platform, they don't adjust the cost of your stock immediately. On Schwab, they used to do it the next day. My Thinkorswim takes 2-3 days. So it is showing me that my cost is 1190, but I know it's not. My cost is about 1070. And if I do get put the 9.5, so it'll be like 10.5 maybe on MSTU. And last time I checked, MSTU was like $9 or $8.80 or something like that. But I will, I already sold the calls last week. I'm going to sell the calls again this week because the premiums are there. And, that's the way I'm looking at it. I'm creating income with the outstanding cash that's sitting in my account because my account is about 80% cash. So, I'm just creating some return. 3%, 4%, 5% a week. I'm happy with that. And then the price fluctuation, of course, is something else. If Wall Street decides MicroStrategy needs to go to parity, and next week MicroStrategy is at 200, that MSTU is going to be like $4, right? So, and then you're looking at World of Hurt. So I will definitely manage the position correctly. So I'm not in love with this trade, but I think it's a proper thing to do, as opposed to trading Bitcoin back and forth like a jockey. I'm not going to do that. I'm definitely going to dollar cost average in the New Year's, $100 a week. $100 a week. I will do that, and at whatever price it is. I think there is a company called river.com. I'm going to look into it. I'm not affiliated with them. I'm not telling you guys to use them, but somebody told me about river.com. That's the best one to DCA. Basically, you attach a bank account, and every Monday at a given time, your money is taken out of your bank account, put in that account, and then automatically it's bought. So you can set that up on river.com. I'm told. I haven't looked into it yet. I was told this weekend. Most likely I'm going to do that. Or every Monday at, I don't know, when I wake up at 6 a.m. or whatever, I'm going to go to Coinbase and transfer $100 from my bank account and buy $100. Not more, not less. $100 a week. That's all I'm going to do. And that will add to my Bitcoin holdings, and it will average up because my average is much lower than what it is here. Okay. So yeah, that's about Bitcoin. As far as the stock market is concerned, I urge you to watch the underlying, trends or underlying waves of what's happening. If you look at stocks that are above their 20, 50, 200-day moving averages, they're not looking that good. The advanced decline line is public. You guys can go Google it. Advanced decline line on New York Stock Exchange. There's a chart that's created for it. Not only the advanced decline line, but also advanced decline volume, right? And go check that chart out. Those charts are kind of breaking down, and that means the soldiers are now participating. The generals are in front. We know what the generals are, and when there is a sell-off, liquidity is in the generals, right? Liquidity is in the Apples, Googles, Microsofts, Metas, Netflixes, Teslas, and whatever. Well, the generals will be sold. They'll be the last ones to fall, but when they do fall, then trouble ahead. Again, I'm not saying market has topped. I'm not saying anything like that. Market's been in a wonderful uptrend. You had a little bit of a correction at the end of the year here for, I don't know, 3-4%. Don't make a big deal out of it. I mean, things will change, of course, but I'm watching it carefully. There are other things that are bothering me, which I've talked about. The number one being Federal Reserve being on a QE, right? Quantitative easing, and lowering the Fed funds rate by 100 basis points, while the actual bond market, the 10-year note, has gone up by 100 basis points. I don't think that has ever happened. I'm going to look into it. You guys can fact check me on this. I don't remember it in my 30-some years of trading ever seeing that the Fed is cutting rates, but the actual bond market interest rates are going up. See, your mortgages, your car loans, your credit cards don't pay attention to the Fed funds rate to a certain point. HELOCs do, other things do, smaller parts of it. But if you're going to buy a house, your mortgage is 30-year fix is back to 7%. Well, that's because the 10-year note is gone up 100 basis points while the Fed is trying to manage this little thing called soft landing. And I've done videos about that too. That's going to be like snowing in behind me. That's what it's like, creating soft landing. Not going to happen. By the way, that's my backyard. So it's a really beautiful day today. So I'm going to enjoy the rest of the day. Not much trading going on, short week. So yeah, I think I said my piece. So again, I want to wish all of you who support me on the other channel as well as this channel a very, very healthy, first of all, healthy, happy New Year, and a prosperous one. Make 2025 the year of financial education, the year of information, correct information, and the only way you can get to your true financial freedom is not working for somebody else. Okay, there's a thing called the stock market, and a lot of people look at it as gambling. And there will be a video coming out this week about gambling, how Gamblers Anonymous phone lines are off the hook now. A lot of people are getting addicted to this game. If you do feel like you are one, there's help out there. Please go get help, because that will ruin everything for you. Finances, gambling will ruin families, will ruin friendships. Nobody needs that. Okay. And, I'm not trying to be somber, but that's reality. And all these zero DTE options and all this hoopla, MicroStrategy, this and that, man, you got to have a calm head. Losers are losers. You got to take your losers, take your lumps, and move on. And winners are winners. Don't get too high with your winners. Don't get too low with your losers. Endorphins are great, right? Every time you have a winner, it creates these endorphins and all that stuff. But then what happens? You become a manic depressive, because then there will be losers. Whoever says they don't have losers, they're lying. If you go too high with every loser and too high with every winner and too low with every loser, you're doing this to your, to your chemicals in your system. You don't need that. That's not a good thing. But I hope everybody has an amazing 2025, a healthy one, happy one, and a prosperous one. Whatever you do, man, do it properly. Do it with correct information. Educate yourself. There is power in good information and education, and I think that's lacking a lot in our society these days. We're so happy on TikTok. We're so happy on X, blurting something out without having a clue of what we're saying. But then, it is what it is. Internet is what it is. It ain't going back. I think the internet is wonderful. I think these new large language models, LLMs like Grok and ChatGPT and Gemini. Man, I'm telling you, I'm already using them. They're wonderful. They're wonderful tools in my toolbox. Is it going to replace me? I don't know. Possibly, but I'm not concerned about that. At my age, I mean, not that I'm that old, but at my age, I'm not going to be concerned. But I am concerned about what it's going to do to the U.S. economy. I am concerned about average Americans who do not have this, wealth accumulated, or who do not have rainy day funds. I am concerned about those people. Those do the entry-level jobs, and they are not looking good. They're going to be replaced at some point with all these AI and robots and things like that. And what a time to be alive. That's the way I look at it. I look at it as glass half full, right? There's opportunities created every day, and there was an AI boom. If you kind of discovered that a year ago, 2 years ago, and if you bought Nvidia stock, you would have done extremely well, right? So you can participate. That's the wonderful thing about this country, right? You don't even have to be early on a trend, but if you do recognize a trend and you're just an average person, you don't have an MBA, you don't have a finance degree or whatever, you can figure these things out, right? And fortunes are created, and these companies are out there to, creating fortunes. Look at all these Mag 7s. They have done nothing but create fortunes for people who have trusted management of these companies, the products that they're offering. And that's why the stock market has a valid space, valid real estate area it should be in your portfolios and in your heads, and you should educate yourself with it. And I think I'm doing a decent job. And one last thing, if you guys want to talk about, read about, or listen to or watch any topics you guys are interested in, or improvements of how I can improve the channel, please don't hesitate. Sergio at sergioavedian.com. Please email me. I read every email on the other channel, thousands, and I certainly will read on this channel. I'm open to suggestions. I have my ideas how I should run the channel, how I should grow it, because information is power, education is power, and I'm trying to pay it forward and do that. So let's look at the chat. Mojo, what's up, Mojo? Hope you all had a wonderful Christmas, right? I opened a couple of gifts for myself, bought with my money. I just laugh at it. It's like the most consumer, I don't know, most consumer spending happens, I guess, on Christmas, right? A lot of retailers do like 30% of their business in Christmas. And trust my credit cards did not get maxed, I can assure you. Yeah. Okay. So Melvin, how are you doing, Sergio, and all people here? Melvin, hello, how are you? Mojo says, this is a good question. Well, we'll ask Kyle that question. Tank tops. What, you're going to show the guns? Is that what's happening? Sure. Okay, getting pilled on PLL. I told you to sell it at 9.5. Rich, you're not doing this the right way. Good morning, Edward. Cheeky Chops is here. Oh, I'm hearing bling in the back. I don't know, something must be happening. I don't know what's happening. Is Bitcoin rallying? Let me take a look. Is it? Yeah, 94,200. It was 93. Okay, so that means MSTR is rallying. That means my MSTU is rallying. That means all those bings you guys are hearing are my calls being sold. Yeah, make an ATM machine out of that puppy. Cheeky Chops. I have been on the hills for the last 24 years. I've been in this house since 2004. No, 21 years, sorry. Both my kids were born in this house. I'm probably going to die in this house. I ain't going anywhere. It's a beautiful place. I'm not going to deny it. Again, this country has given me everything I have, from education to whatever it is. I'm blessed. I'm truly blessed, and I'm trying to share the blessings. I really am. I'm a very humble person. I don't have a big head. I could have a big head, right? No need for that. And my wife complains about that. He goes like, "Well, you do so well." I'm like, "It's okay." I don't drive a Ferrari. I don't drive a Bentley like a lot of my Armenian, brothers and sisters do, the G-Wagons. I know my neighborhood is being taken over by Armenians because they buy these homes for like $1.5 million or whatever, and they break it apart and spend another $1 million. I'm like, why are you guys doing this? House is not worth that much. But then when I do see a G-Wagon in front, I know they're Armenian. They love those G-Wagons, baby. And then I'm like, I just drive a Kia. I would have 3 Kias in the house. I'm just like, it takes me from point A to point B. If I'm not going to show off by wearing a Rolex and driving a Bentley, it's a waste of money, honestly. It's what you pass on to the next generation. I don't need $5,000 a month in car payments and insurance payments. I'll put that in Bitcoin. People don't think, man. I mean, don't get me wrong. I live well. I have no complaints. But frivolous spending is stupid. Oh, Cheeky Chops, I'm gonna block you now. Diddy's probably got much better. Diddy's pool is probably full of baby oil. How deep is the pool? In the middle, right there, where that lantern is, about 7.5 feet ish. Just like a kind of a kidney shape. It's got 3 steps on each side. It starts at like obviously waist high, and then it goes down. It's deep enough that you can jump. You can take a dive. There you go. Mojo, are you still adding to your XRP pile? He probably is. All right, cool. I like that old song. Paula Abdul. What happened? Is she alive? I think she is, right? I don't know. At what price is MSTU a sell in 2025? A sell? This probably was a sell, but I don't trade MSTU as more than like through the options. I sell the puts, I get a sign. I sell the calls with the intent of getting called away. It's in a downtrend, man. It's following, right? I wouldn't look at Sahai 613. I wouldn't trade an MSTU. I wouldn't look at technicals on MSTU on anything else. It's going off of MSTR. And I talked about the slippage of these things, right? If you are new to the channel, go check that out. There's slippage on these 2x ETFs on the way up and on the way down. The math is pretty simple on this, right? So, okay, let's do this. MSTR is 300. MicroStrategy goes up $10, which is, right, $10. MSTU is going to go up how much? $20, right? Okay, next day MSTR comes back down $10. And if you look at it percentage-wise, right? So make it simple. Let's do this. MSTR is 300, goes up 10% to 330, goes up $30, right? What is MSTU supposed to do? Go up 20%, right? Okay, so it goes up 20%. So now let's say that's at 10. It goes 10 to 13. Yes? Okay. Next day, MSTR comes down $30. Back to 300. Where is MSTU going to be? Down 20%, right? 10%. Again, back to 10%. Well, 10% of $13 is $1.30. Your starting point was at 10. You take 20% off. Now you're at 970. Now you're below your cost, and Bitcoin or MSTR hasn't done anything but go up 30, come down 30. Think about it, right? So at what price is it sell? If you believe in Bitcoin, if you can withstand the slippage with options, I wouldn't sell it. You can trade it. That's the ones I'm trading. I'm not trading Bitcoin. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm craving skirt steak. Go get it. Ishmael says, "Are you accounting for the debt?" Absolutely, yeah. 4.7 billion. Not much, really. If you look at the debt to equity ratio on Microsoft, it's about 2.5%. MicroStrategy is about 5.5%, 6% with the 4.7 billion. Now with what he's going to do with the shares coming up, that's videos coming out today. Dilution is massive, man. 10 billion shares. I mean, this guy is probably like trying to corner the market, like the Hunt brothers were trying to corner the silver market. I don't think it's similar, but because this is a finite asset, yeah, debt to equity I think is pretty fine. I don't see anything else. Even if he issues the 21 billion, right? You have to understand the difference between straight debt and convertible debt, right? Convertible debt, a lot of institutions who do convertible debt, they do delta hedging immediately, okay? They actually may not even want MSTR stock, right? So if you lend somebody zero interest coupon bond, right, you give them a few $1 billion, there's 2 points, right? You want MSTR to be much higher, but then Bitcoin has to be much higher for that, okay? And so then you convert, and then your return is going to be ridiculous, right? So, okay, well, I've done these numbers too, by the way. Let's do the numbers. What if Bitcoin goes to 200,000? Where is MSTR going to be? Okay, assuming they don't buy any more Bitcoin, which we know they are. But let's say, as of today numbers, 450,000 Bitcoin, 200, that's 90 billion. Put a 1.5 on it, or 1.7 mNAV, right? Where is MicroStrategy? Okay, let's see, 200 times, I'm doing it in my head. So 200 times, 200,000 times 45, that's 90 billion. 1.5 of 90 billion is 140 billion. Let's put another 10 billion on it, 150 billion. Well, 245 million shares divided 150, that's $700 stock we're talking about. It's 300 now, even if it keeps the 1.5 mNAV. So debt to equity looks okay to me. Even after the 21 billion convertibles that they have coming up, debt to equity looks okay. I mean, these at some point, right, in 6 years, if Bitcoin, the worst thing that can happen to MicroStrategy is this. First of all those bonds, by the way, are unsecured notes. Okay, they're not attached to Bitcoin as collateral. So, and Bitcoin is not being bought at MicroStrategy on leverage. So there is no margin call. Bitcoin can go to 10,000. There's not going to be forced selling. That's one. Two, at some point, and the worst that can happen is for the next 6 years, Bitcoin stays at 95,000. What are the possibilities of that? I don't know. If there's anything is possible, but the chances are very low. But let's say it does. Okay, now it's the last day. Bonds are maturing. Notes are maturing. The convertibles. The convertible people need to get paid their money back. Well, it has to be in two different ways, right? If it's under the option price that they have, which is 55% above, I think it's like last one they sold, the option price was like $652 a share. So if MicroStrategy is above $652, they're going to convert, and they're going to, do that. But immediately, what these convertible note holders do, they delta hedge, meaning they short the stock, and they create a delta hedge with the options. They're not stupid people. They're creating ridiculous income, and that's why I think the premium in MicroStrategy is helping these convertible note holders. They're like neutral, right? And to me, if you do, you have to understand all this stuff. If you do understand that stuff, I know I'm like going a little too fast for most of you probably, but learn about this stuff. That's why I'm making my, figuring that part of it out. Okay, yeah, he says that. Well, I guess that's about XRP. Okay, Richie Rich says 1.545 every thousand. Red. Why is that a red flag? I explained everything on MSTR, Richie. 1.45 Bitcoin, and it keeps going higher while the stock is going lower, right? The Bitcoin count, right? They're 245. You may be right at 1.45, but that has nothing to do with MSTR. I mean, they own more Bitcoin than before, correct? Let's look at that number. Let's calculate that. So they have 450,000 Bitcoin. Divided by 245. Actually, it's more. It's 1.84. Well, the way I'm looking at it. For each 1,000 shares, there's 1.8384 Bitcoin. And, right? So he's going to keep buying it. And the yield, he says, which I don't think it is, but there's other things happening with MicroStrategy. I think MicroStrategy, I have this weird thought in my head that there's gonna be so many assets backed by Bitcoin, mortgages, commercial lending, banking, right? There's going to be a lot of new products, and I think MicroStrategy, with their software business that they have, they're capable of creating these products off the back of the Bitcoin that they're holding. So the game is not over yet. Awesome, same here. Okay. My cost on MSTU is 1005. Okay, cool. 13,000 shares. So how are selling the calls? What do you, okay, cool. Okay, if your cost is 1005 with 13,000 shares, let's do this. Okay. Why don't you look at selling January 17th? It's got 19 days. With the market closures, we're talking 12 trading days left because we have day off. FYI, rest in peace, Jimmy Carter. The markets are going to be closed due to remembering Jimmy Carter passing, our president. I love that guy. I really do. I don't like too many Democrats, but that was one of them. He, although he did create the Iran-Contra crisis, which was like horrible. But anyway, let's not talk about that stuff. So he passed away at the age of 100 yesterday. Rest in peace. So with that, January 9th, they said market's going to be closed in remembrance of Jimmy Carter. I'm like, okay. So that's one less day. Why don't you go sell? Let's do this. I'll take a look at the pricing in a minute. Why don't you go sell January 17th expiration, 12 and a half calls? All right. So what is that going to do for you? All right. So if you're holding cost of 1005, 12 and a half calls, I don't know, they're probably 40 cents ish. I'm guessing. I don't know where Bitcoin is. I don't know where MSTU is at the moment. I'm guessing. Okay. Okay. Sell those calls. If the stock goes to 12 and a half, you get called away. You make 25% plus the premium, probably 30%. If it's under 12 and a half, you lower your cost. If you sell them at 40 cents, you lower your cost to 960. You do them again for next month. You can literally create like 10% return on that 1005. You keep doing that. If you don't get called away, your cost basis will go to zero. I mean, that's what I'm doing. That's the way I'm going to do it. But you can also do the weekly calls. You can take less money, but it's probably percentage-wise is higher. It's better. You know, every Friday they expire. You can do the weekly calls, take 2% a week, and that's 8% a month. I mean, you got to look at percentages. You got to be smart about this. Bought 10 shares of Rigetti at 11 on the 23rd. This morning, it dropped to below 20, 5,200, but held on up 58. What's the exit strategy? Take profits. If you bought it at 11, I think on Friday's high was 19. That's 8 points. That's like 70%. I mean, I don't know what you guys want. I mean, I don't think the company is worth what it is, but that's my opinion. I have puts on Rigetti, so I don't know. Well, that's short term, though. Eric Lee says, I like your salary. Yeah, I don't. I'm not. Look, I'm not cheap. Don't get me wrong. Ask all my friends. You know, I like good things, but I don't pay attention to too many superficial things, right? You're worth to me a lot more than what you have here and what you have here than your bank account, because I can probably buy and sell you as a friend. Because your G-Wagon ain't gonna impress me because you have $1,500 a month payment on that thing. You know what I'm saying? Why? I look at it as like, it's not being cheap, it's like being prudent. I mean, my opinion. When I was single, I had all the cars. I got married late, so I have some personal stuff here now. I got married like at 38. Okay, for an Armenian, that's very late. But I played my game. I was on Wall Street. I was making stupid money. I had my Porsches. I had my Maseratis. I had all those. I had my gold Rolexes. I had all those. I still have it. It was in the bank sitting somewhere. I don't use it. I don't need to flex. I don't need to flash. I don't care. You know, those don't make a human, man. But that's because we grow older, you become wiser. You know, in your 20s, 30s, yeah, you want to flex and you want to get the chicks and all that stuff. But to me, if a woman is coming to you for a car and a house and a Rolex, you're with the wrong woman. But you know, those days are gone, and I have kids. You have to think responsibly. And then, I mean, I bought this house in 2004, and the great financial crisis, it went down 25%. But I'm like, shit, where am I going to go? I'm not going anywhere. And to me, it's like it has grown in equity, doubled probably easily. So yeah, you just, you know, consider yourself blessed. I don't, you know, I like good food. I like good drinks. I like good friendships. Yeah, I'm not cheap, but I know finance. I know how fast it can go. See, getting here is the one thing. Staying here is a more difficult job. Interested in call debit spreads. Okay. I know I'm not there yet. Okay. Absolutely. You must be reading your book. Call debit spreads. How about call debit spreads are tough when the market's going down. So your both sides are going to melt, but you will lose less. But then there's also credit spreads. You should look into that. Selling call credit spreads. Look into it, Mojotronics. It's part of the book. That's where you can make money. Ishmael says, thumbs up. Yes, sir. Thank you. Jude, PLTR to 150 in 2025. Okay. What is it now? 75? That's another double? I don't know about that. But it could be. I don't know. I'm not going to question anything. Who am I to question any of that stuff? This is the funny one, though. TechEV is up 70% on the stock. This is what am I supposed to do? I'm like, I don't know. Sell 5 shares, take all your money out, and the 5 is on the house? Maybe? Think about it. Okay, so let's look at it. You bought 10 shares at 11. That's $110. Stock is, I think, 17, 18, something like that. Okay, so you sell 5 shares. That's $90. So you're taking in 90% of what you put in. And you're letting the other 5 shares go. And it's pure profit. Almost pure profit. 90% of it is. And then it goes to 50, hopefully. Right? Think about it. I mean, you bought it like when? Like a week ago? 10 days ago? And you're up 70%? And what's the exit strategy? I have no idea. I don't think this morning it dropped below 2050 200. Your numbers are wrong, sir. It didn't even get close to it. You need to adjust your moving averages. I'm going to look at it right now. No way. Okay, so let's see what happened because there were a few pings in the back. I don't know what's going on. So let me add this to the. Hope you guys can see this. Can you guys see it? Okie dokie. Oh, let's share. We share. Hopefully you guys can see it. Oh, that's what happened. Okay, cool. MSTU is 914. I have 14,000 shares of Werewolf. Hopefully today is the last day of tax loss selling. My puts on Rigetti are melting. What the hell? 1750. Holy shit, the stock is up. Well, MSTR rallied 914, so I'm selling calls. I'm up to 25 calls. So I have more calls to sell, cover calls. I'm selling the 11s. January 17th 11s. I have 10 more to sell at 70 and 10 more to sell at 75. Hopefully not, maybe not today, maybe later. I'm long root options on a down day. Stock being up is good. Yeah, I'm just 4,500 shares of MSTU. Average cost is wrong. It's probably 10 and change. I don't know. You know, I got to talk, call, think or swim and say, hey, what is happening? Why don't you guys adjust it? Because I don't want to keep the math in my head when I sell the puts. I know my cost is not 1190. I know it's like 1070 something. And I sold the calls last week. They expire worthless at 12 and a half. Yeah, I don't know. Let's take a look at MSTU. Hopefully you guys can see the screen because I'm going to go to my watch list real quickly. Okay, so this is MSTU. Okay, so I think it was somebody who asked me, what do you do? His cost is 13,000 shares, 1005. Okay, let's take a look. January 12 and a half. January 12 and a half. There you go. They're 40 cents. Sell them at 40 cents. You get called away, you sell the whole bunch at 12.90, make 30%, by January 17th. If not, you lower your cost by 40 cents. I was pretty dead on guessing what the price was on that thing. 914. Okay, cool. I am selling the January 11th. I have more to sell at 70 and 75. I also sold right there this morning weekly 9.5 puts, so to add another 500 shares. And you guys can see that right here, the position. I sold them 9.5 and 90 cents. So here's the test: 9.5 and 90 cents. They're like 75, 80 cents. If the stock ends up here, I'm going to get put another assigned another 500 shares. 9.5 minus 90 cents is 860. So it's going to lower some more, cost some more. Will I buy more MSTU? No. 5,000 shares is about it. I don't want any more headaches because it certainly can turn into a headache, and we don't need that. But I will sell the calls. I started selling already, and I will sell more calls. For the person who has 10,000 shares of MSTU or 13,000 shares of MSTU at 10, let's take a look at the weeklies. Let's see what we can do there for you, sir. Yeah, weeklies are weekly because of the New Year's one-day shortened week. They're like a nickel 11s. And stuff. I mean, could it's 914, 915, or yeah. Could it get to 11? Of course. Bitcoin goes to 97,000. It'll be 11. Maybe you can do those. Maybe you can do those. I don't know. But I would do the January 17th. That's tons of premium with decent upside. Or you can do the 12s. I mean, January 17th has 18 days to go. With the holidays is much less. Let's see. We are, so that's my 25. I sold 25. For the 4,500 shares, I have to sell 45. I'm selling the January 11th. That's like, I don't know, what is that? That's like 8% for 2 weeks. Yeah, that's good. Okay. What else? Let me take a look at, for the gentleman who has that, 12s are 50 cents, man. 12s are 50 cents, 40, 50 cents. 12.5s are 40 cents. Take your pick, man. Take the money in. I wouldn't call it free money. Could it get to 12? Yeah, I could get to 12 tomorrow. But if I don't know how you acquired it at 10 and 10.05. If you sold puts and got assigned, or you bought it and actual shares or whatever. But that's what I would do. And if you're going to add to it, now that it's down to 9 and change or 9.10, why don't you sell some puts? You can add to your and lower your costs. Sell the 9.5 puts, like I did this morning. So I will get back to the questions. So pump the questions up there. This is MSTU. So MSTR rallied from 303 to 315. Okay, that's fine. Sounds good. Okay, let's go to the usual suspects. Let's go look at the charts. I hope you all can see that. This is the S&P 500. All right, so last Wednesday when the Fed cut the rates, market ate it right here. And then that can't bounce back to the uptrend line. This is, I don't like too many lines on my chart, so I have a channel drawn up, and that's it. And then an uptrend which broke. You keep it in there because usually what the market will do is they will bounce back up to that trend line and then roll over, and which it did. And that's why I had bought the puts on the indexes. Still an uptrend. Looks like a little head and shoulders top here with the neckline at 580. Again, everybody interprets these things differently. MACD goes below 0. I will buy the puts again. This is the S&P 500. This is the triple Q. Triple Q bounced right off of 50 EMA this morning, just like it did last time. So triple Q is acting a little stronger than SPY. IWM, which is the Russell 2000, which I like more on a quantitative easing area. 245 was the high. It sold off to 220. So this is what I'm trying to explain to you guys. This part right here, IWM is Russell 2000. If you look at the advanced decliners, you guys can clearly tell by the chart that small caps are not doing anything as well as large caps. For the guy who, I think it was Techie B, let's look at RGTI. How do you say, what are you talking about? It's up today on top of everything else. What 20 EMA? 20 EMA is at 9.5. And 50 EMA is less than 6. And 200 EMA is $2.55. That thing, parabolic, is going to die. Well, I don't know. I'm just saying. Well, anyway, yeah. So you were incorrect on those. Unless you're talking about the 2-minute and 10-minute thing, and I don't pay attention to those. I had day trading. This is Apple, uptrend above 20, 50, 200 EMA. One of my favorites this year that I traded a lot is Affirm. It's getting into a buy range right about $60, 50 EMA. AI is another one. It's right on top of the 50 EMA. So there's a lot of pullbacks that you guys can buy with low risk trades here. Again, none of this is financial or trading advice, but take it the way you say. You can write these symbols down or watch a replay and write them down and build yourself the charts and look at them. AMD, horrible chart. Who wants that? ARQQ is quantum stocks are all the craze. I will put a few crazy ones out there. ASTS in support at $20. You want to sell some puts? Go ahead. 200 EMA is 1871, so that's going to be your buy point or stop point if you buy it here. I'm very interested in the Chinese stocks again, such as Baba. Again, I don't think there's going to be a tariff war. I think there's going to be a lot of saber rattling because China cannot afford a trade war with the U.S. and Trump knows it. I think they're going to concede, truly, and these stocks are extremely cheap if that happens because it's priced in now. Okay, a trade war or tariffs are priced in, all these stocks. Another one, BE. See, all these pullbacks could be bought, meaning like BE at $20, high at 30, giving you a chance. 2x ETF of Bitcoin, BITX. Yeah, it's not closing under it, but it definitely came onto the 50 EMA. 72 high, 50 low. These things are volatile. The other ones are more volatile. Here's one that I'm definitely going to sell puts on this week for my long-term portfolio, not short. Kava. I sold this thing at 160. I had bought it at 33. Held it for a year and 5 months. I'm going to sell the 110 puts in my long-term portfolio. 106 is the 200 EMA. Love Kava. Not much has changed, really. Just low volume grinding. It got way ahead of itself at 160. Wonderful company. If you guys don't know Kava, if you have it around your neighborhood, please go eat it and then decide to buy it or not. But I'm definitely going to do that. Let's go through a few more, and then I'll answer some questions. Carvana is breaking down, I think. Yep. That was another one of my massive winners last year. Bye-bye. I've been out of there for like almost a month and a half now. What else? Don't ask me about GameStop. I don't know. Here's another IONC. Look at these quantum computing stocks. One is going to survive. The rest are trash. I don't know which one is trash, and I'm not going to guess it. I'll just trade it. Cooler Technology Group. They are buying Bitcoin. See, anytime a company says now, oh, we're buying Bitcoin as a treasury asset, this is what's happening. It's going from 50 cents to $5.50. Now, the trading wise, where would you trade that? I don't know, man. 20 EMA is 2.5. Stock is 4 and change. I don't know, $3 maybe. When I pull back, Lunar, big winner this year. Hopefully, whoever bought it kept it. Excuse my voice. I traded it. Beautiful, beautiful chart. Pullbacks to 50-day. If you bought it, you did fine. MSTR 316. Yeah, almost hit 300 this morning. Under it's 50, under it's 200, but I don't think you can pay too much attention to the moving averages on these things because it's as a Bitcoin proxy or a surrogate. mNAV, pay attention to mNAV on MSTR. Please do. I explained it as well as I could a million times. 317.55. Okay, what was the low today? 300? Yeah, something like that. Let me see. This is a 2-minute chart. Yeah, 301.75 low, 317. Gap down. Retesting that 318. If it takes that out intraday, we may close the gap at 329, and then MSTU will be over 10 at that time. There you go. What else is there to say? But again, I trade these. I'm not married to these. Bitcoin surrogates, MSTU 917. This is moving with it. MSTU. These are all my shares. Let's get rid of those. Please put the questions. I'll be there in a minute. Hey, Vic, if you're here, how do I get rid of the stock things, man? Anyway, I'm going to sell more calls. Again, if you look at it technically, 200 support is like 670. You can't look at moving averages on this thing, man. This is moving off the other one, off the daddy of MSTR. NUKK is another one. NVIDIA has been strong all day today, even with the market down. That's kind of shaping up decent now. See, these are the things you guys need to watch, right? On a weekday in the indexes, when your stock is doing, it's green, good news. Because when the market turns, it's going to go fly. What else? PDYN, Paladine, AI. Anything with AI, anything with quantum in it. This reminds me of the 2000 bubble. Anything with .com in it was like, look at this thing. I mean, this is the HFT, high frequency trading, systems. Palantir, 150, huh? Okay. I mean, beautiful. Buy pullbacks, right? Until you can't buy pullbacks. I don't think it's going to get to 150. I think it's rich here, but who am I? Who am I to say no? Okay. Peloton. Kind of going sideways. Pay attention to that. So, Red Cat Holdings, another AI. I mean, look at these stocks, man. They're just beautiful. Rigetti up 46 cents from being down over $2. Rigetti Computing, is it worth that? Probably not. But then market's always right. I see Rigetti going down to $10. I have some root calls. Turning green on a down day is positive. This is an AI insurance company, by the way. What else? SIDU. I really like this chart. You guys know the type of charts I like, right? This is called Sidus Space. They're in fact sending a satellite with SpaceX, either I think early January sometime. Had a massive move. You're gonna see that, right? It's right under its 200 EMA, 50 above 50 and 20 EMAs, turning up. MACD is up, going sideways. This reminds me of my favorite pattern of going sideways forever before it breaks out. High was 765 on the last move. We're at 5. I'm a buyer of SIDU. Again, not financial or trading advice. And I post all my positions, open positions every Monday, Wednesday, Friday on the community page of the YouTube channel. Full transparency. Losers, losers, winners, winners. Do not follow me. If you do follow me, do it at your own risk. Where's SMR? Nuclear stocks are kind of going sideways. That's kind of correcting. SIDU, yeah, SIDU, Sidus Space. It's in the right place. Soundhound. Yeah. I talked about Soundhound like in the 4s and 5s, or right down here when it was breaking out on good volume. And look where we are now. Again, if you're going to follow me, follow at your own risk. TLT, finally a green day. TLT is a 10-year note. This is what I'm talking about, people. This is concerning me quite a bit. This is right here at the top right here. Fed started cutting rates. Bond market said, oh, no. We're never buying any of that hocus pocus. Fed cut the rates 100 basis points, right? TLT was 101. TLT is the iShares 20-year invert. So meaning if TLT price is going down, that means interest rates are going up. So watch, put TLT to your arsenal. Market will listen to interest rates at some point. So 101 to 87 while the Fed is cutting rates. Interesting. Holy crap, UMAC. Man, I bought that in 9s for the trade. Look at that thing. Yeah, that's another one. That's another unusual machines. That's they do drones. And Donald Jr. became do not buy it. Please don't buy this one. They're gonna dilute. They need to issue shares. They don't have enough cash. So that's the only one I could tell you not to buy it. Upstart. Breaking the 50-day. Yeah. Now it's kind of iffy. Yeah. No. Wise Key is another one. Beautiful chart. I wouldn't be a buyer of that either. Xena was the one that I talked about on Friday at Power Hour. This is another one that's going sideways. This is an AI drone company. So Xena and Saidu would be the two that I would really like. SIDU and ZENA. The rest, I don't like. Well, check out the positions. If I bought it, you'll see it in the positions in the trading account. I have an investment account. I said I'm going to sell Kava puts in the trading account. I want to acquire Kava again, 110 minus the premium. So that should do it. Let me get back to the front and say goodbye to you all. I think it went a little longer than I thought, actually. Okay. All right, hold on. PLTR 152, okay, Jude, if you like. AFR, yep, that's about right. 59.60. Tight stop. Put a 4 or 5% stop. And next leg up. Tremar asked WATTINTZ. I'll take a look at those real short. Get rid of what? Vic, the prices that I have 4,500 shares of MSTU, right? Every time I put MSTU, it gives me all those little boxes with the prices. I get rid of it in the settings, and then next time I put up MSTU, it's there again. It's not like for good. And I save it too. I get rid of it and save it. So you need to text me about that. I don't know. I'm not liking this think or swim price adjustment when I sell puts, man. Schwab used to do it the next day. Now it takes him like 3 days to adjust my price. I don't want to keep the math in my head. We're in 2025 almost. Anyway, no, I'm not complaining. I'm just venting out. Think or swim. If you're watching, fix it. It's just, we're in 2025. Come on now. If I get assigned, my share price should not show with the strike price. It should show strike price less the premium I took in. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. All right. What were the symbols? WATT and what? INTZ. Okay, take a look. WATT and INTZ. It's probably a bleeder. Bleeder meaning upside. Melter. INT. Yeah. Oh, that was in my scanner this morning right here. Yeah. That was in my scanner right there. Number 2. HOLO was the first one. Here's the scanner, by the way. You guys should run for these crazy moves. INTZ. I don't know the catalyst. I'm sure there's a catalyst to trade 125 million shares. Go to Yahoo Finance and look at the. If you're new to the channel, hopefully you can go watch how I will just quickly take a look at, if they need money, how their cash position is. I'm not looking at earnings because these stocks are not moving on earnings. There are probably some catalyst today. I'll take a look at it real quick. And The other one was what? Watt. WATT. Yeah, NTZ was on the scanner. Definitely must be a catalyst. Trading 150 million shares a day. Yeah. Intrusion Inc. What do they do? I don't know. They do drones. W Energus Corp up 95 cents. Yeah, these are just, look, man, some of these go forever and some of these die the next day because they have an S1. So we have to look at their S1s to see if they have share offerings coming up. Because when the stock goes from 47 cents to $2 and they have an S1, they're going to issue shares. Because most of these companies are trash. The reason they are trash is down to 30 cents is because they are trash. They have nothing. And some, pumpers come in and pump it. Day trading, high frequency day trading, algos pump it, buying and selling from each other. I mean, I guarantee it. The stock today is trading 60 million shares. I guarantee this thing doesn't have more than 10 million shares outstanding, right? Where's all that stock coming from? And if they do have an S1, that's when the shorters make money, right? But then if the shorts get caught, then this happens. And UKK happens. See? It goes from 2 to 80, right? I mean, these are not my things that I trade. They're out there. Some crazy person is going to do it, but I ain't just going to risk on this stuff. I just go slow and steady. I'll get to 200% slow and steady instead of a week. That's all I'm trying to say. Yeah, these are crazy. These is just, I don't know. But those are both off the scanners, so you can run your scanners this morning. Although they both have hit their highs already for the day. Okay, cool. All right. Hopefully I answered your question, Trey Mayer. Anyway, so thank you for the support. Year is coming to an end. I'll put up my trading account first week. This year I'm going to do a little bit different. Usually I'll take my profits out and then start with 50K every year. This year I'm going to take the taxes out and leave the rest in. Maybe I can run it. So the starting point will be a lot higher. So, but I'll, full transparency, I'll put those out and we'll see where we go. Hopefully we'll have another great year like we did this year. So I wish all of you, seriously, thank you for the support. The other channel, this channel, if you decide to become a member, join us on Thursday. Members only live, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, every week. Trading with Sergio every Monday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, although that may change. Power Hour indefinitely there, every Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. And if you please thumbs up, please share the channel, please share the videos. I think I'm doing good work, and Chris is my manager, YouTube manager, is doing good work. I call it the way I see it. I ain't gonna sugarcoat anything. Losses are losses, wins are wins. And don't get addicted to this game. It's definitely addictive. One, please stay healthy. Have a great Happy New Year, safe one if you're driving. I'm sure most of you are. I'll see you guys in the New Year's. Happy New Year. A healthy one, a happy one, and a prosperous one. So much love. Adios. See you guys next year. Actually, I said that to a friend. He goes, "You want to have dinner?" I go, "Yeah, next year." He goes, "What do you mean next year?" I'm going like, "Bro, we're on the 30th. I do that a lot. But Happy New Year, everybody. Please stay healthy. Please stay safe. And let's get it. Let's get it next year. All right. Thanks. Thumbs up. Much love. Bye-bye.